Welcome to the fabulous Las Vegas Rotary Club. Our club continues to make a difference by teaching youth to succeed through literacy, education, and life skills development. I'm proud to be a Vegas Golden Knights fan and proud to serve as the 95th president of the greatest Rotary Club in the world. So our invocation today will be led by Dr. Michael Williams.
I would like to acknowledge our Indian guests today. We have several from Mumbai, and in India, when they greet one another, they do this. And let's do this together, or to one person on your left or your right, you put your hands like this, and you put them against your heart chakra, and you just say, Namaste, 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 Namaste. All right. So in thy fullness, my Lord, fill with thy grace for the purpose of union with thee. We have so much to be thankful for here at this. We have so much to be thankful for here at this club. Please give your attention to us, and may our nights be successful this evening. So, let us be together, let us eat together, let us be Rotarians together. Let us be radiating truth, radiating the light of life. Never shall we entertain negativity.
Amen. Thank you. And our song leader today is President-elect Jackie Thornhill.
Thank you, everyone. Today is Wetzel Today, and in honor of our military serving overseas and locally and our veterans, sing the national anthem. Oh. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge. And the Knights are favored to win tonight.
Thank you. You may be seated. Our Sergeant at Arms today is Jamel. Jamel, are you ready to be of service? Let's move over here to Mr. Bob Warner for introduction of our international visiting Rotarians.
We have a table full of internationals, and it's my pleasure to introduce Horacio Rosenthal. How do you ever get a Rosenthal? Stand up. I've got a little thing that I'm going to read. Hello, friends. My name is Horacio Eduardo Rosenthal. I'm proposed governor of District 2021, and I want to thank you for your kindness when receiving me. Say what? Can't hear you. You can't hear me? Really? Usually I have a very loud voice. Okay, the district whom I represent wants to make an exchange of young people with you. I leave you a project for the disabled person, and if you can collaborate with the financing, I will be grateful. I put myself at your disposal for whatever you want. You have been very generous, so I'm going to hook her up with Karen and see what we can do. Anyways, bienvenidos, and I would like to give you your flag. You got the flag up there.
Do you have a flag? Oh.
There you go. So, picture. And next, from India, we have Rahul, and he'll say a few words because he speaks English.
Thank you, Bob. Well, so great to be here in this fabulous club of Las Vegas. I'm here with my better half, Divya, who's also a Rotarian. I come from a city of Taj Mahal, Agra, India. And then my club name is Rotary Club Agra Taj Mahal. So, well, guys, so wonderful. And this invitation comes to your club through your, one of your members who's been passed as a governor, Rampur. So we have been close friends to each other. And today we got a ride from Jamie to get us here. Thank you. We love this city, and our club is really involved in a lot of things, especially in polio and IDs, and we do a lot of projects on literacy, on water and sanitation, and so we love Rotary, and I'm the third generation in Rotarian, yeah. So yeah, and yes, of course. Thank you for getting us in, and we love you all. Yeah.
Thank you.
You got to look at this guy right over here.
So, we'd like to do this like this?
So, like I say to all our international visiting Rotarians, please leave your home address so that we can have our Valentine's Day next Valentine's Day at your club.
Next, we go to India, to Mumbai. There's Anu. She's going to say a few words.
Thank you, Bob. Wonderful to be here. It's our first day in Las Vegas, our first visit, and such a vibrant club. It was wonderful as soon as we came out over here. So myself, Anupama Vaidya, I have Rotarian Vaishali with me, and my daughter Ishita, who's been an exchange student through Rotary to Madrid for a year. And we are here to actually be a part of the Miss Summer International Competition, where Vaishali, the director, is sponsoring Ishita, who's been crowned as Princess India 2018. And the competition is happening in Las Vegas next week. So nice to be with all of you. We represent the club, Rotary Club of Mumbai, Powai. It's a part of the District 3141. Our main focus areas have been multiple, including water, sanitation, polio, etc. But for the upcoming year at the district level, we are planning to have more than 1,000 pediatric surgeries. And that's a very tall task for us. And my request to the club over here at Las Vegas is we would look forward to collaborating with you and seeing how you could financially help us in really taking this forward. And in Mumbai, this is a big challenge of having pediatric surgeries. Okay? And the second is Happy Schools, where we go, we check out the schools, and we are making the school to be the most vibrant place where kids feel like coming. So typically, it's around $25,000 when we invest into the school to make it into a happy school. So there are targets, and we look forward for you all to be coming to Mumbai to experience what a happy school is and collaborate on the same front of it. Thank you
you.
so much.
And we're going to get you your flag.
Well, give me that. Jamal. Okay, while they're taking the picture, let's move on to visiting Rotarians. Any visiting Rotarians? Okay, then guests of Rotarians.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to introduce my guest, Jennifer Payne. She's with Strawberry Property Management. She's a broker and salesperson. She's visiting our club and checking us out.
Over there.
Hey, everybody. This is my friend Andrew Siegel. He's an agent with Farmers. I know him through my BNI networking, and I've really enjoyed getting to know him over the last year. And when I told him about this being my first meeting as an official Rotarian in this chapter or this club, I said, please come. And he was very supportive and helpful with that and is interested himself. So his family's been here in Vegas for 40 years, a lot more than many, and I'm very happy to have him here with me.
Okay, more guests of Rotarians?
Good afternoon, Rotarians. It's my pleasure to introduce a guest, Mr. John Carpenter.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm your guest speaker today, Richard Joseph, and it's my pleasure to have as my guest here today Colonel Chris Wallach, who runs the Nevada Institute for Autonomous Systems. So I'm going to tell you why you should be interested in what the state of Nevada is doing about research and testing with unmanned aerial vehicles, and then Chris is going to tell you what they're doing.
So wait for that till 1 o'clock. If we can get through the introductions.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Karen Wisenhunt, and I have two guests here today that I'm happy to introduce. First is our World Peace Scholar, Florence, who will be talking to you in a few minutes. And second is my new marketing director, Anne-Marie White, and I had to hire her so I could do more Rotary stuff. Not.
Okay, any other guests of Rotarians? Then let me introduce my guest at the head table.
Oh, I have one.
Jason Buckley was born and raised in Vermont and moved to Las Vegas in 2004. He recently became a grandfather and loves spending time with his two granddaughters. In 2001, Jason was diagnosed with MS, and he believes that his life changed for the better after his diagnosis, since it forced him to focus on the most important parts of life and to always look for the silver lining in every situation. 3 years ago, Jason and his wonderful wife, Corey, started Jasco Technology, a business that provides computer support to local companies. The company is so successful that it has caused Jason to miss some Rotary meetings. So just a note here for a $95 fine. Jason is very proud to be a member of the best Rotary club in the world. The positive change to our community and the friendships from this club are the top reasons he will be a lifelong member. Please join me in welcoming all our visiting Rotarians and guests. So first off, a little sad news. There is Dr. Pat Carlton, who is a previous member of our club. Some of you may know him. Is now a member of the Rotary Club of Spring Mountains. Suffered a stroke about 6 to 8 weeks ago. It's not exactly, I don't know exactly when, but there. Please make sure it moves around. Then Kirk Alexander, if you could take is Kirk here? Kirk, if you could tell us about Project Mercy and what we did last Saturday.
Well, we had some success with building two homes simultaneously. It's the first time we've actually had two houses right next to each other, actually just opposing each other on the same road. So that made it really easy. The teams were able to mix up and work on their respective houses according to their specialty or what they preferred to do. So they didn't have to mix into things of putting on a roof, for example, if they were really good at painting. So we were able to paint at one house and then paint at the other. Anyway, we had a great experience with the new facilitator, Project Mercy. They actually build a very good quality product as opposed to or compared to the folks that we've done this business with at Corazon. But we did have a little glitch coming out of Mexico. It did take us a little bit of time, but we found out later
7 hours, right?
Say that again?
7 hours is what I heard.
A little more than 7 hours, yes. So we got through the hockey game. We managed to listen to that the whole time we were waiting. And I think a few people even went to a pub along the way and had a beer and what have you. But anyway, we endured that. We all got to our rooms the next morning. It was around 1:32 a.m. But we found out the following day that it was it wasn't just because of all of the activity that's going on at the border and the arrests of some 50,000 people every month. It was about somebody that had done a carjacking earlier in the day, and they got into a gunfight with the Border Patrol. So it was a little hairy. But anyhow, we had a really good time. Great weather. It was like 78 degrees. And everybody had a really good time. Both the families were very grateful for the work that we've done. So thanks again for your contributions and for those that attended.
Thank you. Thanks for organizing that, Kirk. There are photos on the back page of the wheel. So if you want to join him in the fall, please see Kirk. And then past President Dave Thorson, are you here? No? Okay, so we had a lights game where we sent 57 airmen. Sean, right? 57 airmen to the Lights football game this past Saturday. Thank you all who contributed to that. Then Arlene Sirois, are you here? Come on up to the front, Arlene. Yeah, this is not a drawing, Arlene. Relax. We took out the jokers. This is not. But if you were here, you saw that Arlene pulled the joker again. So, Arlene, it gives me great pleasure to present you with a check for $1,318.
Everybody wants to know why I am so lucky. I buy tickets.
Thank you. Thanks, Arlene. And that means because she won $1,318, that means our foundation grew by $1,318. So thank you all. Next up, Jamel, if you could take the microphone to President-elect Jim Cole. He has an announcement about the Shakespeare Festival.
President Michael and fellow Rotarians, thank you. First of all, I would just like to point out that the Washington Capitals hold the record for the most blown 3-1 series leads at 5. So go after lunch, put your money down on the Knights to win the series. In addition to that, we are planning for the Shakespeare Festival, and for those of you that have signed up and for those of you that would like to sign up, we are looking for a chair this year. Our last year's chair has a conflict and can't do it, so please reach out to myself or Sean if you can help us with chairing the Shakespeare Festival for this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Then I have only 2 more meetings to go, but who's counting? So in order to make sure everybody attends till the end, I'm going to bribe you with food. So this is just an announcement to say that there will be prime rib on June 21st. So you don't have to listen to the speakers, which will be your club board, but at least you will have nice food. So next up, Rosalie Hedrick, if you could come to the front.
Well, hello, everyone. Go Knights, go. So I would like to introduce our new member, Aaron, if you'd please come up. And I'm going to go ahead and begin to read our script that is going to induct you into our club. So, fellow Rotarian and honored guests, on behalf of the Rotary Club of Las Vegas, it is our privilege to induct a new member today Please allow me to introduce Aaron, and his sponsor is Ted McAdam. You have been invited to membership, and our Rotary Club has accepted you as a person of good character, high ethical standards, a person who has the heart of service and will represent our club in the Las Vegas and Rotary communities. We encourage you to learn all you can about Rotary and to actively participate in the opportunities that our club has to serve those in need. Our Rotary motto, service above self, is the essence of our gathering. The members of our Rotary are people who believe that world understanding and peace can be improved through people united in the cause of service. Today, you are one of those people. We would like to extend to you a sincere and hearty welcome to our Las Vegas Rotary Club and the Worldwide Fellowship of Rotary International. Please, everyone, rise and help me welcome our newest Rotarian to our club. Would you like to just say a few words?
Okay, sure.
And you can leave that up front if you want to.
I'm going to take it and hold it. I'm going to take. They wanted to take it away from me again just now. This is my second time being in Rotary. I was in a Rotary club in Montgomery County, Maryland, and I'm very excited to be able to return to this. It's one of the things that I had very much missed being a part of over the last couple of years, and as things have calmed down with the whole moving, it's fantastic. And I also appreciate that you meet 2 blocks from where I live, so thanks for that as well.
Is our club better than your other club? Do you want to say that?
It is also a very significantly different experience being here. My last club was enthusiastic about my joining because I was the second member under 50. So good job for you.
Thank you. Oh, take a picture. And then, I would like to call, every year we select a World Peace Scholar. Rotary selects 70 of these scholars to go on to graduate studies. And this year we have one of those who is sponsored by our club, thanks to past President Karen Wisenand's efforts. So I would like to call Florence to the front.
Thank you for that kind introduction. My name is Florence Marr, and I'll be representing your club in District 5300 up to Tokyo, Japan. I leave in August, where I'll be attending the International Christian University to do a master's degree in peace studies as a Rotary Peace Fellow. Next slide, please. So a little bit about me. So my parents moved here in 2004, and I followed them, enrolled at UNLV, and started working at the Clark County Health District. And then I ended up finishing at Howard University in Washington, D.C., and I joined the U.S. Department of State and was sent overseas for the past 7 years in Mexico, Italy, and Honduras. And now I'm back and preparing to represent you in Tokyo for this Peace Scholarship. So I'm very looking forward to that, and want to tell you a bit more about the Peace Scholarship because you may not be familiar with it. Next slide, please. So the vision that you have as Rotary members is to support sustainable peace, and through that support those who help build sustainable peace by funding 6 different Rotary Peace Centers around the world that are hosted by 7 different universities. One is like a combined 2 universities host one. And every year you are training 100 practitioners through a master's degree program, which I'm doing, as well as a 3-month certificate program. And those alumni are now all over the world. There's about 1,200 of them. And as you can see, they're literally all over the world working for non-governmental organizations, working for international organizations, working for their governments on sustainable peace initiatives. Next slide, please. So I want to thank you so much for supporting this program and for supporting me, and to especially recognize Karen Wisenhunt, who first recruited me for this program 9 years ago. So this is the result of a long mentorship and recruitment process. And I want to encourage you that if you know promising emerging professionals, people that have been working in community development or international development who might benefit from this program, to recruit them and let them know about this program. And if you're interested in learning more, you can also join the Rotarian Action Group for Peace. They have a monthly newsletter, and it allows you to network with other Rotarians that are working on this particular issue. So thank you again so much, and I'll stick around at the end of the meeting if anyone has any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Congratulations, Florence. That is a very prestigious scholarship. As I mentioned, only 70 students get selected worldwide for that, and we have one of them at our club. So good luck in your studies, and we hope to see you back here in 2 years. So please enjoy a quick 2 minutes for lunch and fellowship. You guys thought I was joking. Okay, welcome back. So, Jamel, you're not eating today, and me neither. So, if you could stop right there at the birthday table, and this is the first Thursday of the month, so let our birthday Rotarians introduce themselves. So, give him the microphone.
Where's she? Oh, I can't see. Thank you. I'm Janice Lenke. I've been a member since 2011, and I am very excited to be rolling off the board in 2 weeks. It's been a great experience over the last 4 years, and very excited to be on the Rotary Foundation board, so thank you.
Well, it's not my birthday, but as you guys will remember from last year in August, there was nobody at the birthday table with me, so I thought I'd just preempt it and have an early birthday this year, as I'll be standing where Michael is anyway, so I just wanted to hear you guys sing happy birthday to me. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Jackie Thornhill. My birthday's on the 27th. I've been here since 2010 and looking forward to being the 97th president.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. My name is Tom Crow. I was born in 1950, and this year with my Rotary attendance, I will qualify for the 100 years of Rotary Rule of Attendance. So I'll let you do the math after that.
Hello, my name is Tom Brooker. I was originally born in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and I did play hockey, so I love the Knights. And then I was kind of reborn in this club 25 years ago.
Hi, my name is Ginger Anderson, and I've been a member of the club for 15 years now. It's been great. My birthday is next week, and there was something else. Oh, and I'm a native Nevadan, like many actually in this room.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. Jim Hunt. Hard to believe for me, but this is my 26th year in this club. Joined in 1992, and it is a big part of my life, all aspects of it. I love this club, love everybody in it, and consider you all family members. Thank you.
Thank you. So if you could take the microphone to Ted McAdam there to lead us in our birthday song.
All right, birthday people, stand up, please. All right, we're going to do what we traditionally do, sing happy birthday. Oh, there's somebody over here. Janelle, come over here. Oh, Janelle plus a child. Oh, how beautiful, Janelle. Gorgeous. All right, are we ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rotarians. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. And as you saw, in true Rotary ethical fashion, President-elect Jim Cole remained seated, and he did not stand up, so thank you for your ethical behavior there, sir. Next up, if you could take the microphone to Lucy to tell us about our Alpine picnic.
Hi, everyone. So the Alpine picnic is going to be Saturday, July 21st at Bob Warner's house. And again, I still do need some more volunteers to head up with us the weekend prior to that, the weekend of the 14th on Saturday, just to help us get the house ready, pull some weeds, and just get the inside of the house nice and pretty for the Alpine picnic. So the sign-up sheet's going around in the green book. If you can please sign up, and feel free to bring any goodies that you guys may have around the house. Thank you.
So that was a plural, right? Because in the world that we live in, you said weeds. Right, there was a plural. Because there is a medical marijuana conference happening in this same building, right? So I want to be sure what we're talking about. Plural, right? Okay, weeds, pulling weeds. Next up, I have on my list here past President Dave Thorson to talk about the debunking. But since Dave Thorson isn't here, I'll just say, bring your best, people. Bring your best. June 28th. There are flyers on the table, so African safari theme, please dress accordingly. Then if you could take the microphone to Jamie Goldsmith, here right up front, to tell us about high tea.
Janice Linke, Dr. Kathy Mahan, and myself are hosting a Rotary Ladies High Tea, but everyone's invited. You don't have to be a lady. You just have to like tea and finger sandwiches. It's going to be at the Bellagio in the Petrosian Lounge, so it is considered a bar, so you have to be 21 or older. If you are interested, please send me an email, or you can go to my Facebook profile and you'll see the event page. It's actually linked to Southern Nevada SOAR. 2 p.m., and don't forget you have to pay like $10 for parking. And wear a hat. We're going to have a hat contest. Thank you.
So you will also sign people up at the end of the meeting? Okay. So see Jamie if you want to sign up. Then next up, if you could take the microphone to David Squire. David, tell us about our highway cleanup.
Saturday. Saturday morning, we are going to meet at Red Rock across from the entrance of Bonnie Springs. There's a little turnout there. At 8 a.m., the weather should be beautiful. We have our stretch of highway that we clean up once a quarter. It's really fun. Get outside, get some sun on your face. It's cool to watch all the cyclists ride by and say, thank you. And then we all say, it's court ordered, but, and then in our orange vests, So, and then afterwards, as we always do, we're going to meet at Jerry Sinis's house. We always have a bash there. We're going to do a brunch again. We're actually this time, honestly, going to set up an omelet station. And even if you're not able to make the cleanup part, you're welcome to come to Jerry's house around 10:30 and join us for brunch. So just let us know, either add it to the green book or something like that so we can get a head count. And then, we blow the party out. We have a Nellis flyover. We've got special guest chef. Marc-Andre Fleury is our omelet chef. And we've got and some secret stuff, too. So we'll see you there, 8 a.m. Saturday morning at Red Rock, across from the Bonnie Springs turnout.
Thanks. So, David, since we have the Nevada Institute for Autonomous Systems as our speaker, we're going to get some drones also for the flyover, right? Okay, David is going to speak to our speaker to organize that for Saturday. And then if you could take the microphone to President-elect Jackie Thornhill to talk about this afternoon. One of our favorite days of the year.
I thought I would combine it. Today is Wetzel Day out at Nellis.
She is cracking up. They're a little red in the face there, Jackie.
Okay, it's Wetzel Day out at Nellis Air Force Base today. Okay, the ceremony has been pushed back 30 minutes. We'll arrive there about 3 o'clock. For those of you that need a ride, meet us at the Visitor Center at Las Vegas Boulevard and Craig Road. The ceremony will start at 3:30. Come on out and support our airmen. We have 5 award winners today. So come on out and support our military today at 3:30.
And where again?
Nellis Air Force Base for Wetzel Awards.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you for organizing that, Jackie. This is where we honor airmen once a quarter, and our club has been doing that for many years. So now we got to raise just a couple of bucks for our foundation, which is over $2 million. And first up, we have some photographic evidence of one of our members. What is that? Is that the Eiffel Tower I see there? And then those look like Russian dancers. I'm not exactly sure. Whoa! Past President Steve Linder and his bride Janet. Jamel, if you could take the microphone to past President Steve to explain these photos. And and there's a banner exchange? So where is our banner, Steve?
You know, it's a private thing.
Well, it's going to be public now, so you may as well spill the beans.
Well, I had a Rotary meeting in France, in Paris, and did not have a banner with me. It was a totally surprise meeting. What can I say?
So once a week, and it was a surprise.
Right, because we had no plans to go to this meeting, but we went to the debunking. It was a debunking.
Okay. So did you get wet, or just the other?
Nobody got wet. Nobody got wet.
Okay.
It was that they don't have the same traditions we do.
Okay.
So,
but they did. About the flag.
They did have a Nellis flyover of the Thunderbirds.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Well, we have that for our highway cleanup. So so speaking about the flag, you do owe us a flag, sir. Otherwise, it's going to cost you $95. Wait, it's going to cost you $95 anyway.
Oh.
So I think just keep the flag in your house. But thank you. Thanks for sharing the photos, and thank you for representing our club transatlantically.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Thanks. Welcome back. And then, Jamel, if you could take the microphone over to Janelle Lozano. First of all, Janelle, welcome back. Good to see you. And it seems as if you have little Rowan with you.
I did. I smuggled in a guest today. This is my son, Rowan James Lozano, born April 4th. Thank you all for the well wishes. And I'm glad to be back. I've missed you all very much.
How many pounds? How many ounces?
He was 8 pounds, 12 ounces.
Whoa.
He's a big boy. And he's only grown. He's now 13 and a half pounds.
13 and a half
I don't even
pounds.
bowl with a ball that big.
So we're going to take it easy on you since you're a new mom. Welcome back. So we're just going to make it $13 for 13 pounds.
Thank you.
So good to see you. And if you want to take pictures with baby Rowan,
That's
they can
right.
do that at the end of the meeting.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Good to see you, Janelle. Okay, let's move on to our drawing. I made sure that there were no jokers in the deck so that we could grow the pot. I'm joking, people. But we are starting with a full deck because Arlene Serwa won the jackpot. So to draw our joker, the number is, or to draw any card, not just the joker, 206-3339. 3339. Dave Lester. An ace, at least, $50. So see Sean for your $50. And then for the Lowry Bucks, the number is 206-3240. 3240. Tony Kern is really happy about that. I trust you. If I cannot trust you in this room, then who can I trust? So here you go.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you. And then to introduce our guest, I would like to call to the front Ted McAdam.
Thank you, President Michael. This will be very short, but I do have two stories I wish to tell you. Whether you know it or not, we're fully into the drone era of life. I spent a couple of hours with my new dear friend, Chris Way, at Channel 13 last week, and we did actually get into a brief conversation about drones. Interestingly enough, last Tuesday, I want to tell Colonel Wallach and Richard, who was a no-show for our drone trip to Creech Air Force Base last week, we did go up and see a very sophisticated drone operation. The MQ-9 Reaper is a very expensive drone, and we learned a lot about what it does, its capabilities in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and Syria. I have a personal story about drones. I have a dear friend who lives in Southern California in Palos Verdes Estates. We went down there 3 weeks ago to visit him, and he invited me into his office, and he programmed his $1,000 drone to take off from their location, fly a circuit around their house, and land without touching anything once the drone got airborne. I was totally impressed. So Richard and his firm are venturing forth into the drone business. He's going to introduce Colonel Wallach to talk about the Nevada program for testing drones, and Richard Jost, our dear Rotarian friend.
Thank you, Ted, for that nice introduction. And I'm sure our president-elect will give me a pass on being a no-show for the bus trip last week. I'm sure he has the same pesky clients that I do that always call up at the worst times with the worst silly emergencies, but that's life. And I'll talk fast because I know some of you are headed for the Wetzel Awards at Nellis at 3:30. The rest of you are heading for Toshiba Plaza to get there before the festivities start for the Golden Knights game. And Colonel Wallach brought a 6.5-hour presentation on drones. So to squeeze that all in, I'll talk a little bit fast. First of all, what are drones and why are they suddenly in the news so much? And with apologies to Captain Kirk, the drones we're going to talk about today are not half humans that came from the Borg. Sorry. Drones are known by a variety of names. The people in the industry tend to refer to them as unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, or unmanned aerial systems, UAS, taking into account the ground station and the communications link, or people in the military generally will refer to them as RPAs, remotely piloted aircraft, or RPS, remotely piloted systems, to make people aware that these are not just flying Terminators or other robots. They're actually devices controlled by human beings or programmed by human beings. But the name drone has been around for a long time and pretty quickly became attached to the drones that we're going to talk about today. The U.S. military was using drones for surveillance as far back as the American Civil War. As far back as the First World War, we were using military drones for surveillance and for target practice. And since that time, we've been flying unmanned vehicles in a variety of settings. After World War I, between World War I and World War II, it became very popular for people to fly model airplanes that were radio controlled. So the person flying the plane was standing on the ground using a radio to control the control surfaces on that plane. But those are fixed-wing aircraft and not that easy to fly. So you didn't see very many of them. You didn't hear very many of them. And just one basic way of categorizing aircraft, they're either fixed-wing or rotary craft. Fixed-wing aircraft, as the name suggests, have a fixed wing. You move that wing through the air, that creates lift, and the plane flies. Rotary craft, you take the wings and you mount them on a spindle on the top of the aircraft, and then you spin them around real fast. And that's what creates the lift. We tend to refer to them as helicopters or such. And so there wasn't a lot of concern about unmanned aerial vehicles until not that long ago when the military decided we've got these great big unmanned aerial vehicles that we're using for surveillance, and they're really effective. Why don't we hang some missiles on them and make them weapons delivery systems? And so that the public became a little bit more aware, and you had some people expressing some concerns about the moral implications of flying robots killing people. And that kind of simmered along. And then another advance occurred, and that was while we were sleeping or not paying attention, something happened. Right? We took telephones and walkie-talkies, and we said, wouldn't it be a great idea to put them together and put a radio in the telephone so that we can get telephone signals without being connected to a cord? And maybe as we're wandering around. So we did, and we had cell phones. And then somebody said, well, gosh, if we can receive a telephone signal, why not the internet? And we did. And so now you had a device in your pocket that you could monitor the internet, you could receive telephone signals. We all like to take pictures and share them, so somebody said, well, gosh, why don't we put a camera in the device? And we did. All the while, everything kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And so the computer that used to take up a big chunk of your desk was reduced to a chip. And all of a sudden, without us paying much attention, we now have a computer with a high-definition video camera and a two-way radio and a telephone. And we can put it in our pocket and carry it around, or we can take pictures with it and stream them to the internet. And so what happens in Vegas doesn't necessarily stay in Vegas anymore, as we've seen. But then, here comes the big one. Somebody said, well, let's take your cell phone and put 4 rotors on it. We've already got a computer inside it, and let's let the thing fly itself. And now we can take pictures from all kinds of neat places and stream them to the internet. And so we did. And the next morning, we woke up, and somebody said, holy smokes, how am I going to have any privacy if my nosy neighbors can fly a camera into my backyard? And all of a sudden, we did get concerned. And then someone more thoughtful said, well, I'm concerned about my privacy, but I'm even more concerned about the fact that I fly in commercial aircraft. And what exactly is going to happen when one of these commercial aircraft sucks in one of these little vehicles? Because now, unlike the old radio-controlled aircraft that you actually had to work at it to fly them, anybody in this room, even me, could go into Target or Best Buy or wherever, plunk down a couple $100, take the device home, plug it in to charge the battery for an hour, and an hour later, you're airborne. you're flying, because the devices basically fly themselves. And so now everybody's concerned. And the FAA gets ordered by Congress to come up with some rules to make it safe to fly in the national airspace with these little things popping around every which where, and to put people's fears a little bit at rest that they're not going to lose all their privacy. So they ordered the FAA to come up with some rules for doing that, the FN to designate some test sites, because nobody really knew what the rules should look like or needed to look like. Nevada, I'm happy to say, applied and was one of the 6 test sites chosen, which was a great thing for about 30 seconds, and until somebody in state government said, oh, wait a minute, this is another one of those be careful what you wish for situations. We've been selected to do all this stuff, but we operate at the speed of government, not at the speed of business, and certainly not at the speed that technology is evolving. So how are we going to do this? So Nevada set up a nonprofit corporation, the Nevada Institute for Autonomous Systems, and said, now you guys, will give you a knowledge fund grant to get you started, but you guys figure out how to do this testing. You guys figure out what the people in Washington need to know to regulate drones, small unmanned aerial aircraft, or for that matter, large unmanned aerial aircraft. We think that law enforcement who is allowed to fly these things will be responsible. We think that the military, who has been flying these things for a long time, will be responsible, but we're scared to death about every person who can afford to plunk down a couple $100 putting one of these things in the air to spy on their neighbors, to take pictures of the house they're trying to sell, to seed crops, to do all of there are 1,000,001 wonderful things that can be done with these devices. I mean, search and rescue is an obvious one. Monitoring crops is an obvious one. But we're scared that we need rules, and we know how long it's going to take for the FAA to do the testing, to do the research, and write those. None of us would ever see those rules. Our children might not see those rules. And what would happen is eventually there would be a catastrophe, not if, but when, and a manned aircraft would go down, and then everyone in Congress would get really excited and throw a lot of money at the FAA, which they haven't done yet, and maybe there'd be a little bit of progress. But in the meantime, the test sites, including the Nevada test sites, have said, you know, we're not going to wait for that. We're not going to wait for the catastrophe to get everybody really crazy. We're going to start doing testing now. And so with that introduction to drones, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Chris Wallach, a former helicopter squadron commanding officer in Afghanistan and Iraq, colonel in the Army Air Corps, and the executive director of the Nevada Institute for Autonomous Systems.
Thanks a lot. How's everybody doing? Do you all always have these amazing meals every week? That's incredible. This is the best I've eaten in the last couple of years. So I'm going to have to come here a lot more. I'm a little bit intimidated today because there's a lot of social interaction. And for us in the business here, we are very technical. And I have to remind myself of that we can't be too technical. Plus, I'm on the clock here. Michael reminded me. So I'm going to try to talk more high level. And I'm going to try to be a little bit more interactive. And I'm not going to be too technical. Yesterday, we were in Silicon Valley with the other 6 test sites. We were with NASA. And everybody in here knows that NASA is a major stakeholder in growing the unmanned systems industry. Does everybody know that? So we were doing this big press event yesterday to the whole network, all the networks there in Silicon Valley, San Francisco. And I was the last speaker before Amazon Prime Air spoke, and the 8 networks that were there that were filming everybody speaking, they lost everybody. So that's what I'm kind of fighting up against today. Which is the advancement on here? Okay. So I'm Chris Wallach. I've been around, at least in this business, never heard of NIAS before 3 years ago. Has anybody else heard of NIAS? Well, we speak a lot. Yesterday I was in Silicon Valley. 2 weeks ago I was with what is called the Starburst Accelerator with Mayor Garcetti in L.A., speaking to a different crowd there. And then the week prior to that I was invited to speak at the Uber Elevate Summit in L.A., and I was on a smart city panel. And so every time I ask the question, have you heard of NIAS, nobody raises their hand, so I know I have our work cut out for us. So I'm going to be happy if this video plays. There it goes. This just kind of gives you a little introduction to what we do. When the FAA called the state of Nevada in December of 2013 and informed state officials of the FAA designation for the entire state of Nevada as a UAS test site, this made us uniquely suited to nationally and globally grow the drone industry in the United States. The Governor's Office of Economic Development, in turn, created and sponsored the Nevada Institute for Autonomous Systems, or NIAS, to grow and advance the Nevada UAS industry. Today, with a growing team of experts, NIAS manages all Nevada UAS test sites, and we do this with the incredible support from the Nevada Governor, the Governor's Office of Economic Development, city mayors, county commissioners, and local city managers. At NIAS, we will innovate, help deregulate through streamlined UAS policies and procedures, and advance technology and air commerce through our vast business network. NIAS is focused on developing the next generation of safe and reliable drone pilots. The NIAS process is to coach, teach, and mentor. When you come talk to NIAS, we really do a complete evaluation of where you are now and where you want to go. We are an outlet to test policy and procedures before they actually get implemented.
NIAS is partnered with the NASA Ames Research Center to help develop the next generation of unmanned traffic management systems. In collaboration with commercial industry and municipalities, this integration is going to help urban expansion for drones in the national airspace. NIAS teammates include startups, large organizations, municipalities, and higher education institutions. As one of 7 FAA-designated UAS test sites, the state of Nevada is unique. Our entire state is a test site, as opposed to the other 6, which are affiliated with research institutions or universities. NIAS and the FAA-designated UAS test site has partnered with all of the Springs, and then in the middle of the state we have the Hawthorne Advanced Drone Multiplex. In southern Nevada, we have the Mesquite UAS test range, we have the Henderson Unmanned Vehicle, is focused on partnership and collaboration. We partner and collaborate with companies all around the globe. NIAS has partnered with New York-based SkyOp to develop this drone workforce development training program. We offer 18-hour courses that will teach you the basics of aviation so you pass your FAA Part 107 test and also get some hands-on experience with small quadcopters indoors in a non-GPS environment so you learn how to fly safely and responsibly. Commercial drones in the autonomous systems industry are poised to touch all facets of business, from disaster relief to media to agriculture to infrastructure inspection to airspace management and drone detection. Contact us today and experience the new.
So we do a lot of different things. We just don't do testing and developing. We do a lot of things that a business consulting company would do. We're focused on the air side of autonomous vehicles. We don't really do testing on what I do from the ground side, but we do have individuals in the governor's office that do and help facilitate the unmanned ground vehicle side, but the systems between ground, air, and marine or waterborne type systems, they have a lot of times the same infrastructure, like the same motherboard or the same technology that can be interchangeable. So We're not the FAA, but we are designated as a kind of a right-hand partner of the FAA to help grow the national UAS industry. Our charge from Governor Brian Sandoval is to grow the Nevada UAS industry, and that's what we've been trying to do for the past several years. It's not a one-person show. It's not a one-organization show. It really takes everybody's effort to do that. But we use the whole state of Nevada to do that growth. We focus on small businesses to grow our Nevada-based businesses. We have partnerships now well over 100 from small companies to multinational companies. If anybody has heard of companies like Amazon, Walmart, Qualcomm, Intel, or Nevada-based companies like here in the South, Avasite, UAS, or Drone America in the North. From small to large, we have networked across the U.S. and globally. When the state of Nevada is active on trade missions, the most recent one with Alberta, Canada, state of Nevada signed an MOU with Alberta, Canada. We were involved in that. Prior to that, back in October, when the state of Nevada signed the MOU with Poland, we were involved in that. And so we're making international collaborations as well to try to grow the market here and to make it an advantage for Nevada businesses. We have planned different airspace areas that are regional, and we're in the process of connecting Reno to Las Vegas in a 480-mile air corridor. These are just different testing areas. These are the military areas from here in the south with Nellis Air Force Base, the Nevada Test and Training Range, to Department of Energy, to Hawthorne Army Weapons Depot, the largest weapons demolition depot in the world, really, and then Fallon Naval Air Station in the north. We work with the military, but we don't test drones for the military or Department of Defense. We have done testing and developing for defense contractors, but we're focused primarily on the commercial market, and so that's what we've been doing. You can't really see this slide, but the bottom line is before 3 years ago, nobody knew about Nevada and the drone industry. Since 3 years ago, we have put Nevada on the national and global map for a lot of different records. One record that you've seen one of the slides there was this thing about aerial package delivery. We were the first in the nation to deliver a hot dog and 7-Eleven Slurpee to an actual resident in their backyard in Reno, Nevada. Nobody said, they said it couldn't be done. I said, well, let's follow in the governor's motto, Nevada is the get it done state. Am I right? So we said, bring it to Nevada, and we're going to get it done, and we did. The next thing we said, well, we know on the manned side that we do aerial cloud seeding. That's where the manned aircraft launch these iodine crystals in the cloud to produce more precipitation. Well, 25 years ago, maybe a little bit more, Nevada had a Class A accident, and we lost cumulonimbus thunderstorm clouds or clouds in general. And so since then, we set a national, really a global record by seeding the clouds with an unmanned aerial vehicle, and we did a test a little over a year ago, and the scientists on the ground registered about a 13% increase in the precipitation where in the area where we seeded the clouds with these iodine crystals using a drone. Well, this thing went viral. We had countries from Africa to the Middle East calling us up. They said, hey, can you bring this cloud seeding technology over to our country now? We want you to produce rain. Well, at least to say after that, they started calling the state of Nevada rainmakers, right? And the last one I'll talk about, because I'm about out of time. I got another 10 minutes here. We had a small Nevada-based company, a Nevada teammate, that went to the other test sites out there in the U.S. They said, hey, I want to set the longest distance package delivery in the national airspace, in the commercial airspace, using a drone. Went to the other test sites. They said, it can't be done. What did we say here? We're going to get it done. So that teammate came back to Nevada, and they said, well, where do you want to do this? They said, well, we want to do it in Texas, right in the backyard of the Texas UAS test site. They didn't really like that very much. But we said, okay, what do we need to do? And so they told us, and we worked on that. And Then we went out and flew the mission in commercial airspace, almost 100 miles. We flew from south of Austin, Texas, into Austin, Texas, delivered a package to a global giant, industrial giant, and said, yes, it can be done. And we just showed you how. So I'm just going to zip through a lot of these. We're involved in NASA. We did a recent NASA operation to test this airspace platform that basically is going to integrate drones with these big airlines and make them safe. So it's going to basically look at where the manned aircraft are flying, and then it's going to integrate these drones with a certain flight plan, and it's going to deconflict. And so this program is called Unmanned Traffic Management. So we tested that out. We were the first of the 7 test sites to do that back in March, and we had several new developments, which I can talk about a little bit later. Last year, we again tested out the NASA, it's called Technical Campaign Level Number 2. Again, we tested this out, and we said, well, let's figure out how to integrate these drone detection sensors. Basically, it can hear the drones out there through the spectrum, and it can see them and it can hear them. And so we were the first to integrate that into the Unmanned Traffic Management System, and we were very happy about the results there. Prior to that, the FAA looked out across all 7 test sites, and they said, hey, we're going to launch this national initiative for making airports, towered airports, safe, so when you take off out of these airports, you don't have a drone flying into the major airlines. So we were part of a major test called a Pathfinder back in November 2016. They put a very giant test site together with a very tiny test site. Guess who was the tiny test site? Nevada was the tiny test site, and they said, hey, who can get it done? I didn't raise my hand. They looked at Nevada. They said, Nevada, you're the air boss, so I want you to demonstrate this capability to over a dozen governmental 3-letter agencies, of which I cannot mention here. And we said, yes, we can do that. So we were partnered up with this giant. They didn't like it very much that we were the air boss, but we led that endeavor with the FAA in front of, over a week long, in front of over a dozen governmental entities. They said, hey, well, we can, they demonstrated this safely, that drones can be integrated around major airports, and we were able to help show them how. So this is just kind of a quick picture. This is Denver International Airport right here. And so we actually set up on the end of the active runway on both north and south side, and we ran these different air scenarios. In the upper right-hand corner up there, you can see that guy in the black picture up there with a lot of snow around him. That's me getting ready to launch a drone at night. We had this other test site that said, hey, it was just a major snowstorm here in Denver. We were not able to fly, and this test must go on. And so they looked around. They said, who can get it done? We said, Nevada can get it done. So we flew drones in the national airspace at night, and we launched multiple drones, and we showed it could be safely done. So since then, we've flown about 1,500 missions, from package delivery to cloud seeding to infrastructure security and inspection. And so now we are embarking upon a kind of a new chapter. Back in October, Trump's executive order that he issued to the Department of Transportation, he said, I want the U.S. to lead globally to advance air commerce and innovation globally. And so they put together a solicitation. It went out across the U.S., 149 applicants. We had 2 here in the state of Nevada that applied. I was responsible for putting together the state of Nevada's plan in partnership with 3 dozen small and multinational corporations that have immensely diverse missions. And they said, Chris Wallach, Nevada Institute for Autonomous Systems, what did they say to me? Get it done. Figure it out. So we had to figure out how to build a plan, incorporate all of those entities into one plan, and submit it to the Department of Transportation, FAA. Well, we also had the City of Reno and Florida UAS that submitted, and 1 of 2 were selected. The first wave was to focus on very narrow use cases, which was the City of Reno and one of our Nevada teammates. They got selected, but there will be, and hopefully, another round. And so our plan is kind of leading the way among states, and so we're looking forward to bring that industry here in the state of Nevada, which will bring probably close to $1 trillion of infrastructure and investment if the DOT selects the state of Nevada plan. It's called the Smart Silver State, or S3. So if you hear Smart Silver State, people are going to say, well, what does that mean? Well, it's the drone plan that's going to basically launch a deployment across the state of Nevada with air quarters and systems and bringing in giants and propping up our small businesses to grow the UAS industry. So we're going to need a lot of help to do that. So back in April, I presented at the largest security and safety expo. I said, hey, what is the number one problem out there in the industry? And it's drone incursions into the national airspace. Drones interfering with first responder operations, drones interfering with public major airlines out there. And so after I presented this, I said, hey, here's what Nevada has to offer to an international group, the largest in the world. They said, wow, he's really selling Nevada. I said, of course I am. But they also started to call it the scared straight message. And that's what the RJ classified my speech that day as the scared straight. So this is not a scared straight, but I'm just going to kind of highlight where we need some help, and I need everybody in here to kind of join our safety movement. Because together we're going to make the skies safer. So if you see that little clock at the top with the hand moving around, once it hits 7, every 7 hours in the national airspace across the U.S., there is a drone incursion basically interfering, preventing a safety hazard in the national airspace. Every 7 hours, there is an incursion happening. And that's, the FAA is reporting right now, as of March, 100 incursions a month are occurring. By 2022, the commercial UAS that are operating out there, which is 122,000 in the national airspace now, is set to grow to 450 UAS operating in the national airspace. That means when that hand up there hits 2, after 2 hours, there's going to be an incursion happening in the national airspace if we don't do something to change that pattern. And so that's what we kind of set out to do. And so some of you may have already seen this on the local television, but we've had a couple of near misses here. And from a manned aviator and for people walking on the ground, I'll tell you in the research and development, the biggest fear is if you're an individual and you're thinking about a drone, well, is that drone going to fall out of the sky and hit me? I'm going to go through this one scenario. That's one. The other one, which is the biggest fear to manned aviators, is that a drone flies into a major airline.
Ends up in the hospital when she's hit by a drone.
13 Action News reporter David Schumann spoke to a woman who saw the seemingly innocent flight that put everyone at the pool in danger.
Kristen Rabola was unexpected.
So I won't go through it because I got probably 30 seconds, but the bottom line is this drone, for a bystander at the pool, it falls out of the air and strikes the lady in her leg, and, created a major injury there. And this was just a recreational use person. Another one is McCarran International Airport back in February.
Video from Las Vegas started popping up on social media. Take
Anybody
a look.
fly out of
The
McCarran in
shocking video
February of
shows
this year?
the close proximity between a drone and a passenger plane that's heading in.
Bottom line is this drone flew within a couple of 100 feet of a major airline. If that drone gets sucked into an engine, it could be very catastrophic. And on final approach into McCarran, if it would have hit its left engine, and what happens when an aircraft loses power, it turns to the left, it could have easily crashed into the Las Vegas Strip. So what we have proposed to the state of Nevada and the national industry is that we are going to get it done. The FAA has been quoted in the press as not having sufficient programs or systems out there to ensure the safety when it comes to drone incursions in the national airspace. So we announced recently that we are creating what is called the Nevada Drone Center of Excellence for Public Safety. And so we are going to focus on mitigating and providing data and lessons learned to mitigate drones flying in the national airspace. So we have centers already in the north and the south. We're going to connect those. We're going to establish kind of a super center here in the south. And we're open for donations. So if you want to help, if you want the skies to become more safe, in when you fly in and out of these towered airports, that is NIA's, and that's because we're going to get it done. Am I right? So that's all I have in my short 15 minutes. So if anybody has any questions, I think we're open for like 30 seconds of questions. Tax deductible is a 501c3.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris. Sorry, Chris. We're out of time. So, Chris, I would like to present you with our Share What You Can award, where we will present a hot meal to a homeless vet in your name. And Chris will stick around. If you have any questions, you can come and talk to him. So, just pause and smile. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Michael.
Thanks.
I appreciate that.
So, like I always say, Rotary is like tennis. No, wait. Rotary is like hockey. In order to get to your goal, it's not always a straight line. You need teammates around you, and sometimes you got to body check the competition. So with that, go forth and make a difference.